Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome back. Welcome back, boys and girls, and however you identify. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope it was nice. You got some March Madness, some Final Four on both the men's and the women's side. Good stuff all around. We had some hoops. What else did we have? I felt like there was more going on. Who do we have here this morning? Sneeps is here. Sneeps was here early, 5:19. Sneeps, what are you doing up this early, Sneeps? You're a young man. You should be asleep. Happy National Tomfooleries Day, says Snoopaloop. That's good. Glad we got that one out of the way. Happy birthday to both Brolo and Rolo. Reese is here. We the people. T-Man. Happy International Fun Day at work. You know what day it's not? It's not April Fool's, okay? We have to be better. I want everybody to come together. If you take anything away from today, from this entire Team Hold experience, from all the shows we've ever done, from the hours and hours of content we've ever done, lying is not a joke, okay? You can do better than that. This is what today is all about. Today, people are like, here's a stupid thought. And then they put it out there and they're like, oh, no, just kidding. April Fool's Day. It's a joke. That's not a joke. That's not comedy. Don't allow this to be an excuse to be lazy. If you want to be funny, I want you to dig deep into that creativity well, and I want you to come up with the joke, okay? Oh, God, I hate it. I hate it. I feel like I'm turning into Bill Burr here. It's awful. It's terrible. We should not celebrate it, okay? So if you are, I actually put a tweet together today. Where is it? Here we go. Because somebody sent me this morning being like, oh, LeBron's not going to re-up with the Lakers. Ready? It is a tweet from the NBA Trade Center with over like 600,000 followers on Instagram. It says, breaking, clutches, Rich Paul's informed the Los Angeles Lakers that LeBron James will be declining his player option at the end of the season, hoping to explore ways to unite his son, Bronny James, on whatever. That's not even a joke, right? There's nothing funny about this post at all. This is just a lie. This is just somebody lying. What? We can do better. We can do better. We deserve better. This is crazy. And so what I would like everyone to do today, it's not that I need you to like this tweet. I need everybody in the, if you find a stupid joke, I want you to reply in the comments to it, okay? I want you to reply to that joke throughout the day, because this is like my Independence Day speech, okay? I am Bill Pullman for the day. We need to come together. We need to knock it off. Have you ever done an April 1st gig? Yeah, I think so. Definitely. Imagine comedians hopping on stage and just lying for a full set. Wow. No, Reese, here's the thing. You can lie. Like, obviously, all jokes aren't just 100% truths. There's usually a kernel of truth that is expanded, right? But like, we can all agree there was nothing funny about that, right? Right? There was no joke. There was no joke in that LeBron James tweet. It was just like, he's not going to sign. Wait, yes, what are we doing? What are we doing? All right, anyways. Hold on. Let me get off the high horse. Let's let's talk about the weekend, huh? Actually, before we do that, just a reminder: Live Before Locks back this week. We're at 5:30 tonight. If you are in the fast break streets, we'll have that little VIP stream at 2-ish, I think, 2. And then, NBA bit Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. 89 Cavs are back on Wednesday. All the good stuff. All the good. I would like to give a quick shout out to friends over at So Rare, and that's where we'll start. Because I went to my church last night, Madison Square Garden. That makes it sound like I'm a Knicks fan. I'm not, but I just like basketball. I get to go see the Knicks Thunder last night, which ended up being an incredible game. And we had awesome seats. They had us in section 117, which is basically center court. We weren't like right on the floor, but in like that first section off the floor, and we're probably 10 rows back. And so we were like staring. We were kind of like lined up with Mike Breen, who was calling the game last night. And it was an awesome game, like incredible back and forth. Sloppy game. I think the Thunder won this game shooting, I think 50% or less than 50% from the line. That Jalen Brunson missed 3 free throws in the fourth quarter. Dante DiVincenzo missed a bunch of free throws. It was a weird game. Josh Giddey, insane stat. I heard it from the Windhorse podcast this morning. Josh Giddey has now had 3 consecutive triple doubles at Madison Square Garden. And the last person to do that was in 1985, Larry Bird. What an insane stat, huh? But yeah, Giddey had a little trip dub last night. And it was Kelsey's first time going to the Garden, which was a lot of fun because it I think it's hard to explain what the atmosphere is like in Madison Square Garden. I think even if you're not a Knicks fan, there is something there's just something special about seeing games in there. Like, because even though you think of New York, you think of like big money, right? And you think, oh, if you like kind of like what Golden State is now in the Bay Area, right? In the new arena, not the Oracle, I forget what they call it now, but in the new arena, it's like a lot of tech bros that get tickets to those games. It's a lot of like big money, less like fandom. Even though it is big money there, like the environment is just, it was awesome. It felt like a playoff game. Like people losing their mind. They love Jalen Brunson more than anything else I've ever seen. Tracy Morgan was there last night, and I tweeted this photo out. We can take a look at this right now because Tracy Morgan looked like he was in his Easter finest here. Let me see. We got just beautiful stuff here. Let's see Tracy Morgan. I mean, that is a lot of blue. That is a lot of blue. Looking dapper. We're looking dapper. Love Tracy Morgan. But yeah, it was a great game and an important game for OKC because we're going to start with the top of the West. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, they made the thumbnail. I was ready. Timberwolves are red hot. Nuggets dropped a game. Minnesota was picking up some games. I'm like, let me create the thumbnail early on a Sunday. And then they somehow dropped the game to Chicago last night. But we're going to start with the West here. Yeah, Sandra. What's up, Sandra? Good morning. Good to see you here. And Matt, looking dapper, not a sponsor. You're absolutely right. But yeah, so OKC gets this win, right? And they now are, I believe, half game lead. They have a half game lead after they're getting that W against the Knicks over the Denver Nuggets, who also got a win yesterday against Cleveland, which we'll talk about. And the Timberwolves, who dropped that game, are now 1 game back after losing to the Bulls. And I'll go over those stats. Actually, let's do that right now, right? So we had, let's go. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Let's go to the Nuggets first. So the Nuggets beat the Cavs 130-101. Jamal Murray still has not played in like now a week, I think. So hopefully they're just being cautious with him. But Jokic was insane in this game. 26 points, 18 rebounds, and 16 dimes. Was all over the place. He got 22 from KCP. Michael Porter Jr. dropped 19. Donovan Mitchell has now been back for a couple of games. And let me just say, he looks rusty. He does not look himself yet. Hopefully that shakes out soon because they need him. They need him to be good as Cleveland, because the next thing we're going to talk about is this like 3 through 7 race here in the East is kind of out of control right now. But yeah, he looks rusty, but Denver just kind of keeps on trucking along. They look good. They had one other game. No, that was it. That was their only game this weekend. The Timberwolves, on the other hand, they played the Bulls. That was their only game too. They lost 109-101. Rudy was back. Ant played. The real issue for Minnesota in this game is they only got 19 bench points. DeRozan at 27 and 8. If you played Caruso, We talked a little bit about him in the fast break. He had 5 steals in that game, 21, 5-5 with 5 steals. Ant-Man had 22, 11-5, Conley 19-7, Rudy 19-10, but only 19 bench points for the Timberwolves. That seemed to be the difference in this game. Minnesota had been running red hot too, so they were probably due to drop a game like this. And they did. And then OKC, as I mentioned, why is that not popping up? There we go. They had 2 games this weekend. On Friday, they played the Suns and they won 128-103. And Giddey was awesome in this game too, 23, 9-7. KD had 26-6. And then last night, I mentioned the Giddey triple-double. Also, what was kind of cool, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was doubtful heading into the game, had missed the last couple of games resting that quad. And then he returned. And I guess like to finish what this game, I know we like started talking about it, but it was real sloppy down the stretch. And then Knicks are down 1 with, I think it was like 15 seconds left. And Brunson hits a tough layup. Just like high up off the glass. It goes down, gives them a 1-point lead. I know a lot of Knicks fans are saying that was a foul. They should have been a foul. I mean, there was some contact. I don't know if it was a foul. There was some contact. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander comes down and hits. I mean, I think what's so impressive about OKC, and to see this live, like we had a cool angle at it because we were just staring like right at SGA. Catches the ball, kind of turns around. I think he had Miles McBride on him, so he had a little bit of a height advantage, but still a tough like fadeaway. And there was never a doubt, like you knew it was going in from the second it left his hands. And I think what's so impressive about the Thunder, they have the best vibes in the league, and it's not close. They really do. Like they seem to just like really like each other. They in their fourth quarter, like even though it was a little sloppy, there was just like no panic. They seemed like the veteran team. They were so poised. Jalen Williams, holy shit. Jalen Williams last night in this game was awesome. 33-8. And while SGA was a little rusty in the first half, I think he only had like 5 points going into halftime. I think SGA had, I think J-Dub at 19, finished the game with 33, and was just making tough shots. He made a tough, like 18-footer, I think, with a minute or so left to either tie the game or give him a 2-point lead. But just big time buckets, big time. But they just seem so poised. They seem like a veteran team. It was cool to see it. And yeah, Chet was rough in that game. And I don't know. It might have just been a matchup thing, Boudevine. Like he got bodied by Hartenstein. I mean, over and over and over again, Hartenstein just bodied him. There was like a putback dunk he had over him. He was rebounded over him. And I mean, it got to the point that Dagnall didn't play Chet. I think Chet played just the last 2.5 minutes of the fourth quarter. And I don't know if it was matchup dependent. I don't know if he was just like playing the hot hand. J-Dub did a good job, or J Will did a good job like drawing a charge. Had a couple, I think he had an and one down low. But Chet did look rough. He did look rough in that game. One more like fun tidbit from this. Sam Morrell, who's like one of my favorite comedians right now, was sitting on the baseline for this game. And he was sitting right next to Latrell Sprewell and Michael Strahan. And, the best part about this was every time. So for the second half, the Thunder were shooting at that basket. And every time the Thunder got up to shoot free throws, he was losing his shit. I mean, he was pounding the floor, stamping his feet. He got up and was yelling at Josh Giddey one time. So I respect it. I respect, like, that's like real fandom right there. But yeah, great win for OKC. And so, like I was saying, they have a half game lead, but their schedule is the hardest of the 3 the rest of the way out. So they've got, I believe, 8 games left, and it's looking like this for the Oklahoma City Lightning and the Thunder. They've got the Bucks, the Celtics, Dallas, which we'll talk about Dallas in a second, Sacramento, the Pacers, the Sixers, the Spurs, and the Hornets. So that's it. That's their stretch right now. I guess you give them Spurs and Hornets should be dubs, although Wemby's playing like animal right now. Sixers, who knows? Maybe Embiid's back for that game. And then the other games, everybody but the Celtics are going to be trying. The Wolves, the rest of the way, they have the Nuggets. They have 2 against the Suns, the Lakers, the Rockets, which is funny on Tankathon. The Rockets have now gone from an easy game to a hard game. They've got the Wizards, Raps, and Hawks. So that's good. And then the Nuggets, who are the easiest of the three, and I probably are the favorite to finish at the 1 seed. Although if Jamal's not back, who knows? They've got Minnesota, the Clippers, 2 against the Spurs, Grizzlies, Jazz, and Hawks. So I feel like Denver's probably got the easiest way. Common Man said the Mavs are the last game of the year. Seeds might be set. Yeah, maybe, but with 8 games left and everybody's just like a half game away from each other, I don't know. I feel like this probably goes down to the last game of the year, which is fun. I like that. I like that no one, I mean, outside of the Pistons, really the Pistons, the Hornets, the Wizards, the Spurs, the Jazz, and now like the Celtics, everybody has stuff to play for still. Although the Bucks are close to not having to care anymore either. Let's actually go to Dallas next, because the Mavericks, and let's do some drops, man. Let's do some Luka freaking Magic, because he has earned the drop. Luka Magic. So Dallas, baby, they played that second game against Sacramento, right? I think they played on Tuesday or Wednesday. Then they played again on Friday, and they looked good, man. They're playing great basketball. They win this game 107-103. And in this one, Kyrie had 30. Luka only with 26, 12, and 9. This game came down to the end, though, and what ended up happening, and it's funny, like, God, this is the most pundity thing to say, but it's a make or miss league. Oh, Stachunk in the chat. Let's go, Stachunk. But down the stretch, right, there was 2 possessions in a row. Dante Exum gets wide open threes. And this is like in the last 3 minutes of the game in a tight game. Wide open threes. And it was brick. And I was like, man, the story of this game, if the Mavericks lose, is going to be how, like, it's Luka, it's Kyrie, and then they're not getting help from anybody else. A third trip down, Luka finds Exum. I believe it's Luka finds Exum wide open again in the corner, or maybe a little bit more on the angle, knocks down the 3, and that ends up being the game. That was really what decided it. Exum with like a monster 3, but it is kind of itchy nose, bros. It is kind of crazy that, like, 0 for 1. Oh, come on. 0 for 2. Exum's going to be the scapegoat. 1 for 3. He's the hero. Exum finished. Actually, I didn't write his stat line down. I just said he had a big 3. De'Aaron Fox played really well, 23, 6, and 5. He had 3 steals as well. Harrison Barnes, a couple straight games now, 20 plus. He had 20. Sabonis with 13 and 12 and 10. He had a triple double. We're gonna do a drop. I'm gonna do the Luka drop again, because I'm gonna say Luka Magic. Allergies going nuts. But yeah, huge win for them. But the brutal news coming out of Sacramento is Malik Monk. I believe it's a strained MCL. Sounds like he's going to be done until at least like mid-May, which would be in the playoffs. And I got breaking news for like the Beam Bros. No Malik Monk, you might not see mid-May, because mid-April is the play-in game, and that might be where it's done for Sacramento. They're in tough shape right now. I know they got a win last night against Utah, which we don't have to talk too much about, because that was a wrap. But Dallas now, in their second game, they play Houston, who Houston was on an absolute heater, hadn't lost since like 2021. And Luka goes in there and does 2 of the craziest things I've ever seen in warmups. And I'm sure you guys have seen these clips already. We did a YouTube short about it today. Throws the ball off the Jumbotron, hits glass, and goes in. That's how he started the game. And then in the game, I think this was in the second half, he's got the ball, shot clock's like, I don't know, halfway down. He's got Jalen Green on him near half court, gets a switch, Jabari Smith Jr.'s on him, picks up his dribble, and then just like takes a layup from the 3-point line, underhands the shit, and it goes down. I mean, out of control stuff from Luka. He had 47, 12, and 7 in this game. Kyrie had 24. Jalen Green finally came back. Jabari Smith Jr. led the Rockets to 28 and 7. But Dallas now, they have been playing some very, very good basketball. They have won 7 in a row. They are 9-1 in their last 10. And don't look now. They are in the 5 seed. They have now, they have the tiebreaker over the New Orleans Pelicans, who dropped the game to the Celtics over the weekend, and now are in the 5 seed, only 2 games back from the Clippers, which is kind of crazy. You know what, Matt? I don't know. You didn't miss the big April Fools. You know why? Because April Fools is a sham. But anyways, Dallas, I don't know. I feel like we got really excited. Like, oh my God, are the Clippers going to fall out of the 4 seed? Are the Warriors going to miss the play-in? Are the Lakers going to miss the play-in? And it seems like everybody's just going to chill where they are. But yeah, crazy stuff. Testa said Horse at the All-Star game would hit different, similar shots like the Luka one. Stuff from the tunnel. Yeah, didn't they try Horse like 10 years ago, 8 to 10 years ago? Wasn't it like outside too? Kevin Durant did it. I agree though. Do it do it in the arena. I'm here for it. Bring that back. I'm here for that. Also, yeah, PJ with the big, you know what? Let's get a PJ drop too.
PJ Washington. PJ Washington. PJ Washington.
Now, to go back to this, I don't know if Dallas is going to catch the catch the Clippers for the 5 seed, but we are now primed for a 4-5 matchup of Dallas and maybe the Clippers, which would be pretty sexual if you ask me. Dallas has 8 games left. They got 4 tough ones. 5 tough ones, excuse me. They have OKC, they've got Miami, they've got 2 against the Warriors, which again, putting the Warriors as a tough one feels like a stretch. They've got 1 against the Rockets. Then they've got 3 games against shit teams. It's the Pistons, the Hornets, and the A-Town down Atlanta Hawks. So that's what Dallas has left. The Clippers, on the other hand, 6 toughest schedule. So they got 8 games left. They got Denver, Cleveland, 2 against Phoenix, 1 against the Kings, and 1 against the Rockets with 2 against the Jazz. And when you look at the New Orleans Pelicans, where are they at? They've got 8 games left as well. 2 against the Suns, Kings, Magic, Lakers, Warriors, and then 1 against the Spurs, 1 against the Blazers. So that battle for that 4, 5, 6 is going to be pretty intriguing. And when you look at who's down in that, what the play-in looks like, right? So the Kings are now 2 games back from the Pelicans. I think one of Dallas and New Orleans is going to be the 6 seed. One of Clippers and one of those teams is going to be the 4 or 5 seed, right? It does seem like right now we've got Kings, Suns, Lakers, and Warriors now for the play-in. Those are going to be the 4 teams in the play-in. I don't know which way it's going to look like. Kings and Suns right now are tied up for that 7-8 matchup. Lakers are a game and a half back from them, and the Warriors are a game and a half back from the Lakers. So it feels like those are going to be the 4 teams. The Rockets thing, I think, is dead. So Houston now is officially 2 games out. What a run. Thanks for making it fun. But the Warriors seem to figure their shit out. Real quick, let's actually cover some of the Warriors stuff here from this weekend, because they have been playing a little bit better. I refuse to give them credit, but they have been playing a little bit better here. Golden State beat the Hornets on Friday, 115-97. Chef Curry had 23-4. Wiggs had 28-8. Bridges had 22-9 for the Hornets, and then Moody with 15 off the bench, which was fun. And then they played the Spurs, 117-113. They won that game. Draymond with 21, 11, and 6. Curry had 33. Wemby had 32, 9, and 5 and 4. 4 steals and 3 blocks. Wemby actually with an insane weekend, because I wanted to talk about this as well. On Friday, they played the Knicks, and this game went into overtime. This was an insane game. Also, embarrassing weekend for the Knicks. I mean, the Thunder lost, whatever, that happens. You can't lose to San Antonio. This game goes to overtime. Brunson, right? We were right off. DeJounte Murray had just put up 44 shots against the Celtics. Brunson said, hold my bag, because he went out there and then threw up 47 shots, dropping 61 points. And what was craziest about the 61, he only had 5 triples. I don't know. If guy goes for 61, I'm like, all right, knock down 10 threes, right? No, 5. Dante had 20, but in this game, Wemby had 40 points, 20 boards, 7 of dimes, and 3 stocks. But at the end of the game, Miles McBride throws a full-length court pass as they're trying to get another shot up. Wemby rips the ball out of the air, holds onto it like this, right? Time runs out, high-fives a fan, and then they threw the ball into the stands. Wemby threw it into the stands. The NBA fined him $25,000, which, if you remember, Kelly Oubre got fined $50,000. What I need a scale. I need Joe Dumars or Adam Silver or just anybody. to show me what the scale is. Show me the NBA scale. Because, so Wemby is only half of what Kelly Oubre did. Now, Kelly Oubre told so many people to go fuck themselves. I mean, he was, he's like, you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. He brought a grandmother in. A grandma. I think you should be able to throw the, what do you mean intent? What do you mean intent? Like you can't throw the ball to a fan at the end of the game? He didn't whip it at him. It was a home game. He gave a fan a ball. Speaking of which, I caught a t-shirt from the t-shirt cannon last night. Sniped a t-shirt. And then I gave it to a kid because I'm not a monster. Also, it's probably a double XL, and an oversized shirt looks a lot cuter on a 4-year-old than it does on a 39-year-old. They find people for booting the ball into the crowd. No, I know they've done it, but don't you think that's different? Also, you know what, NBA? Let's just fucking chill out with the fines. All right? Let's chill out with the fines. Let's have some fun again. Kelly Oubre should have got fined. He told the ref, fuck his grandma. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. But Wemby, come on. Come on. Was the kid tall? Regular. I will fight you. No, he wasn't tall. Also, one other note from last night's game. I want to know what the chat would do in this situation. So, yeah, Stan, I know. But what I said was a 4-year-old and a 39-year-old. Look at everybody. Everybody deep in their short joke bag. At least it's not an April Fool's joke. Honestly, I'll take it. So we were pretty early to the game last night. We walk in. 2 people approach us with a bunch of Knicks gear on. And they go directly to my wife. And they were like, hey, would you like to participate in an in-game arena game type thing? You know, where like during a timeout, they do one of those things where they're like, the golden ticket is in which ball? And then the balls start going like this. It's like the cup game, right? And you got to figure out which one it is. And my wife said no. Now, I want to know, would people do it or would you be a little embarrassed? I want to know what the chat would do. I was devastated because I wasn't even thinking about like winning. I was just like content. This is a content play. You got to do it. You got to do it. I also respect that the people, they like specifically asked her, they had no interest in me doing it. And they could see like my excitement. I was like, and so then I felt so bad because my wife was now like thinking about it the whole time. They didn't do this bit until like right before halftime. And then she would have gotten it right. She would have gotten it right. And it was for like a $1,000 Delta gift card, which would have been dope. Is she an introvert? No, I don't think she's an introvert. I don't know if I would do that. I don't know if they would, if I would consider her an introvert as someone who is like pretty good at talking in front of people. I think she likes controlled environments. She's not a big fan of like, I guess the best way to explain it, she's not a fan of like cringe or, no one's a fan of cringe, but like prank type stuff, right? And I think there's always a fear in those types of things where if the person hosting the gig or the game is not going to take care of the person participating in it, there's this like, you know what I mean? Like this idea of not being taken care of and then people are laughing at you instead of with you, that whole thing, which I get. Because as someone who like hosts things and tries to be able to make fun of people without like not making them feel like I'm making fun of them, if that makes sense. Like we're making fun of each other. I don't know. So I totally respect her not doing it. But my insides were hurting. My wife turned it down the other day when we were at spring training. Yeah, I get it. Right. Like you're like, oh man, cameras are always on me. Snoop said I always had to recruit people to do that at games. So I'd probably say no. Yeah, I definitely would have done it. I would have done it but I'm also good at losing. Like I know how to lose. So I would have been fine. I would have been fine getting made fun of. I would have had fun with it, but people are different. But I've never seen anybody ask people to do something like that before. But it reminds me, like anytime I do man on the street stuff, most of the time, if you like one-on-one approach someone, they like feel like they gotta do it. And most times they say yes. So I was like, yo, good on her for saying no, that she didn't want to do it. Anyways, I digress. Let's get back to some of the hoops. So let's go over to the Eastern Conference here for a hot second because let me actually share the standings so you guys can see this with me. The standings are a little nutty on the East. I didn't realize like how close everything was jammed up. So Stan, maybe there's hope for you after all. We're going to go, ooh, excuse me. We're going to go look at basically the 3 through 7 matchup. Look at this. So Cleveland now, they have a half game lead over the Knicks, but they've just played one more game and won one more game. The Magic are now a full game behind the Knicks for the 4-5 matchup. The Pacers are only a game and a half behind the Magic. And then you've got the Heat only a half game behind the Pacers. Excuse me. And then the Sixers a game and a half behind the Heat. Like, it is all jammed up right now. I do think like the Sixers are squarely in the playing game. But if we go over to tankathon.com and go take, that sounded like it was going to be a presenting sponsor, but look at the remaining strength of schedule here for both the Heat and the Pacers, because that's really the matchup that I think is the juiciest, right? Miami, Indiana, excuse me, the 20th hardest schedule, I guess is how we would phrase it, right? They've got one against OKC, one against the Cavs, one against the Heat, one against the Raptors, two against the Nets, and one against the Hawks. But the thing with the Pacers that I don't really trust is like they are so Jekyll and Hyde where you just don't really know what kind of performance you're going to get from them. Like they could beat the Celtics and then turn around and lose to the Wizards. Like that's how they've been playing lately. Common Man saying the Nets should have tanked harder. They don't have their first round pick though, right? I don't even, because that would be a real gamble. I don't think they have the first round, but maybe it's like top 3 protected or something. And then when you look at Miami just, they have one more game than the Pacers. So that's the half game difference, right? And they play Dallas, New York, Pacers, Sixers, Rockets, then 2 against the Raptors, 1 against the Hawks. We don't want you on the bandwagon. Stay on the Knicks. Stan just wakes up angry, goes to bed angry. God, Stan, I just hope. I feel like you need to get laid, Stan, just to like chill out a little bit, just to like loosen up. I've been watching Shogun, and that seems to like really chill somebody out. So I'm rooting for you, Stan. I do kind of lean on the Heat catching the Pacers here. If we go back to the standings, like I don't really see Indiana holding on, but I can't peg them. I can't figure them out at all. And then when you look at the other 2 matchups of like the Knicks and the Cavs, right? The Knicks, they've got the Celtics, the Bucks, the Kings, the Heat, 3 against Chicago, which should help, 1 against Brooklyn. But Cleveland, too, has been kind of a dumpster fire. They have an easier schedule the rest of the way. 1 against the Clippers, 1 against the Suns, 1 against the Lakers, 1 against the Pacers, and then Hornets, Grizz, and Jazz. So that's going to be pretty tight the rest of the way, too. I don't know. Do you guys have a lean on that in the chat? I have a hard time. I feel like the Knicks will catch the Cavs. I don't know if the Magic will catch the Cavs. Rockets have an unprotected Nets pick. There you go. Thank you, regulator. But it does feel like we are shaping up for a 3-6 matchup of Knicks and Heat in the first round of the playoffs, which would be fun, which would give us Cavs and Magic, which I do think that's the Magic's best chance at advancing in the first round. And I do think we'll see Pacers and Sixers in the play-in game, which then would set us up for, I don't know, maybe Celtics Pacers or Celtics Sixers in the first round. Bucks Pacers in the first round would be juicy just because for whatever reason, the Pacers have played the Bucks really, really well. So that's going to be fun. And I know somebody had asked, I had gotten distracted when I was talking about what happened at the Knicks game. But yeah, regulator says, who misses the playoffs from the West? Is it the Kings and Suns? But I'm not really a believer in the Lakers or the Warriors. I know the Lakers, fun fact, Lakers undefeated in play-in action. I don't really know if they have a shot at they definitely have a shot. I think the Kings are in trouble. Without Malik Monk, Davion Mitchell played like 28 minutes last night or something, or 21 minutes last night. Like, that's not going to do it, right? Davion Mitchell is he comes in for hot spurts, but you can't. Malik Monk was so important to them. He played like backup point guard for them. He was their 4th quarter killer. Like, he was awesome. And to lose that is like a real punch in the dick. I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry. So my feel is that the Kings are toast. And then it's between, that means one of the Lakers and the Warriors are getting in. I think I would lean Lakers because I feel like I don't know. We'll see. That's going to be fun. The Lakers-Warriors playing game will be fun. Common Man said Knicks without OG and Randall shouldn't scare any real teams. I will say, boots on the ground last night, Julius Randle looks like he's going to be back any day. He was doing a pretty intense workout beforehand. He got up a ton of shots, is moving around pretty well. So my guess is Randall is going to be back any day now. The OG stuff is real, though. I don't know. I feel like they've been kind of quiet on the Anunoby front, and I totally agree. Like if OG comes back, I think the Knicks are tough. I think the Knicks are tough. But yeah, that's a good point. I mean, if OG isn't back, are you taking Brunson, Randall, Dante, Hart, and Hartenstein with McBride and Precious off the bench against Miami team? Miami too, though, still no Tyler Hero, and it sounds like he won't be back. Stan, I know ever since I brought up the sex thing, you stayed away, but what is the Hero situation? Or is anybody talking about it, or are people just like, actually, we don't care about it? Like we're fine without him. Man, I don't know. Hashtag Heat culture, though. Also, let's do a Hero drop just because I miss you, Tyler. All right, he will be back. He's practicing now. There we go. OG's injury feels like it's going to be something that's going to linger, story of his career. I know. Oh, yeah, we should do the Randall drop, too. Gosh, I was asleep at the wheel. Come on.
Regular season Randall.
All right, let me see if I missed any other, like, important games from the weekend. Like I was saying, right, the Pacers beat the Lakers in one. Lakers won their second game. They blew out the Nets. Clippers beat the Magic, and who did they play last night? They won 2 games this weekend. Let's see. The Heat blew out the Blazers. Man, Portland sucks, dude. The Portland thing is tough. Scoot was minus 58 against the Heat. Minus 58. Delano Banton minus 44. It was intense. It was so bad Thomas Bryant put up 26 and 12 in that game. Minnesota beat the Nuggets. I should give Minnesota some love because that's why they made the thumbnail, because they beat Denver with no Jamal Murray, but it's still Ant-Man had 25 and 5. Rudy had 21 and 12. Conley had 23 and 8 in that game. That was a good one. Jalen Green put up 34, 9 and 6 against the Jazz, where the Rockets won that game 101-100. Let's see. Saturday. I didn't talk about Celtics Pels. This is a pretty fun game. I got to tell you, there's something. I got so many Celtics fans who I'm friends with, who everybody just texts me when Celtics stuff goes on. And I don't know what Celtics fans expect. I think they assume they should go 82-0. Because people losing their mind in the first half when the Celtics weren't playing great against New Orleans. And I know they had just dropped 2 games against Atlanta, but they've been awesome this year. And they get off to a slow start against New Orleans. They come out in the third quarter and then just beat the shit out of New Orleans. Just beat them up. Beat them bad. But people are still so concerned. They're like, yeah, but what about the first half? And I was like, but they won. They beat a good New Orleans team. Also, Zion is awesome, guys. Zion is really, really good. He had 25, 9 and 4 in this game. The Zanger had 19 and 10. Tatum 23, 9 and 4. Magic beat the Grizzlies. Nothing to talk about there. That game was over. The final score was 118-88, but it was worse than that. It was worse than that. I think that's kind of it. I don't know if there's anything else we need to hit from this weekend. Yeah, that was it, baby. That was it, baby. What do we got for games tonight? I know the NBA is so weird with March Madness stuff going on. Celtics play the Hornets tonight at 7. You got Memphis at Detroit, Brooklyn at Indiana, Portland at Orlando, Atlanta at Chi-Town, and Phoenix at New Orleans. All the games either starting at 7 or 8 p.m. tonight. Love that. Good East Coast friendly vibes. Also, we've got some women's March Madness tonight into the Final Four. I am ready. I think it's 7 and 9. I think the first game is Iowa LSU. Also, listen, Portland. Oh my God. How do they have the 3-point lines wrong? You knew for so long that you were hosting March Madness. You were hosting the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 matchups. How in the world are the 3-point lines not accurate? How did nobody go out there and measure that shit? Also, how did they not have a more scientific way of measuring it? There were coaches out there just putting one foot in front of the other to see if they could line it up to see how many feet it was away from the rim. And then they just like, I was listening to, also, I will say, I don't know if you guys are watching the women's tournament at all or checking out the ESPN broadcasts. The studio booth for ESPN, which I'm going to play L something, Shanae Agumuke, and then I apologize, I don't know the other person's name, L Duncan, and then I can't remember the third person's name. They are so much better than the NBA studio show. And I always get nervous now watching ESPN studio shows because of how bad the NBA stuff that they're doing is. This was so good. This is so good. They're funny. They make jokes. They got good camaraderie. And I like, just take notes, ESPN. Figure out how to do this. They were so good. But one thing Shanae said was she was like commending the women for saying we were going to play anyways, because there's other times where like this has happened before and they're like, hey, we're not going to play in this game. I don't know if I would commend the teams for being like, fuck it, we'll play in unregulated NBA courts. I think that's kind of crazy. All right, Paul said if only we had portable devices measuring things, maybe like a tape that rolls up. Great point. Great point. Merkami's in the house. Let's go. Women's NCAA ball has been pretty awesome last few years. Yeah, I mean, the tournament's been so good. Tournament on both sides has been good, actually. I've enjoyed the men's tournament as well, although I didn't watch much of it yesterday. Anyways, yeah, I was like, how do you get that wrong? How do you get that wrong? Regulator in the chat, 160th 3-point makes for Brandon Miller, moving to 9th highest single season total by a rook. Wow. European fantasy talks. Oh, EuroLeague fantasy talks. Will the 24-25 season in Europe be enough for Kevin Porter Jr. to be able to play in the NBA again? Yeah, great point. I saw somebody else put that in the chat. Did he sign with the Greek team? Is that right? You know what, Kevin? We will do the Porter drop, even though it's like a besmirched Porter drop now, but we will still do We're the Porters.
We're the Porters. We share the crowd of up and down performers, throwing things and buzzer beater corners. And one of us is playing for the Warriors. We're juniors and we're the Porters.
I will say this because I don't trust anybody or anything anymore. If Kevin Porter Jr. averages like 35 and 15, yeah, he'll probably come back to the NBA just because that's how the world works now. I don't know if he was good enough for that to happen, but I imagine it will happen because that's the way the cookie crumbles. But you know what? He can fuck himself. I'm out on Kevin Porter Jr. Him and Miles Bridges should go play together, and I don't know. Hell. Yeah, Yuck is right. Let's I think that's it. That's most of the basketball stuff that we got going on. My So Rare lineups were dog due, so we're not going to check in on them. But just a reminder, we're doing that special with IKB this week. So if you haven't signed up for IKB yet, reminder, if you create an account, if you just create an account, you enter yourself into a shot at winning the Damian Lillard limited tier card. And if you and all you're going to do is show me that you create an account. And if you do a pick'em, it enters you into a Jalen Brunson rare tier card, which we will give away on Tuesday or Wednesday. So if you haven't done it yet, you still got time. And we're going to use IKB to create our pick'em today. So I don't know. Top Shot Common Man, we the people, stretch out. Let me know what the pick'em's going to be for this week, and then we'll do it. Let's see what we got here. Oh, again, wait, I've zoomed in too much. Bunch of weird games again, so it's hard to know. Hard to feel good about any of them, especially because Boston has a bunch of dudes that are questionable tonight. Like I think Jaylen Brown's questionable, Porzingis is questionable. Am I freezing up for you guys, or is that just my computer that's doing it right now? I hope I'm not freezing up. That would be bad content. I do kind of like, I feel like Orlando's going to beat Portland by 1,000,000 tonight. Brooklyn, Indiana. Brooklyn on a back-to-back too. Phoenix, New Orleans, actually. Let's do this one. Phoenix, New Orleans should be fun. I kind of like Zion overs and Booker unders on points because I feel like Herb Jones is going to get the Booker assignment, right? All right, maybe we don't pick it yet then. But we can just talk about this game here for a second. Will Herb Jones get Booker or KD? I feel like KD's too big for that. But maybe they put Trey on Booker and like CJ gets, I don't know. Either way, I'm excited to watch that game. I think that game's on NBA TV, although that might be I watch it on my phone while I'm watching March Madness here. I don't know. Let's do a quick underdog ad read break, yeah, and then we'll go see how my best ball lineup is getting smoked. Today's NBA bit is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy Sports. Whether you're drafting Luka first overall in best ball or fading Wemby blocks in the pick'ems, Underdog is where you'll find Team Hold. Sign up today at underdogfantasy.com or just click the link in the description to get started. And by signing up using promo code HOLD, HOLD, you will get a 100% deposit bonus match up to $100. That's a free honey. So sign up today using promo code HOLD, HOLD, and get started at underdogfantasy.com. All right, here we go. We're back. All right, so right now I'm in 33rd place out of 94 here. We've got 1 week left, so it ends on Sunday. I was going into last night's action. I was in 6th, and then what killed me, John Collins ended up sitting last night, and he was somebody who was scoring points for me. But now what happens is like this total of 988 carries over, but all of the players reset for this week. So it's a brand new week. So luckily, Hawks play tonight, Nets play tonight, Celtics play tonight. I don't think the Kings or the Mavs play tonight. And then so do the Pels. So hopefully we get off to a good start here and then just kind of chip up a little bit. But it was exciting yesterday when I was top 5, but you can see how close all of this is, right? So like, even though I'm in 33rd right now, what am I down? 63 points, 58 points, something like that. But I'm only, oh wait, that's that's way more than that. Excuse me. I'm down like 100 something. What math was I just doing that? We are 98 out of second, which still is not too much. Buddy Jewish McCaffrey's right there. But yeah, so we'll chip up a little bit here this week, but too bad. I wanted a shot at first, but the injuries weren't kind to me this week, I don't think. Comment says I like Cam Thomas to stay hot, 25 plus. Yeah, that's pretty good. That is pretty good, especially against Indiana. A regulator says from Victor, I know players have gotten fined Wembenyama for throwing the ball in the stands before, but they did it with bad intent. I was just doing it to make somebody's day. That's what I'm saying. NBA, open your eyes. We review everything else in this world, right? We review every single time somebody gets fouled, we go into the review tape. So can we review that as well? Huh? Come on. Okay, just a couple reminders here before we wrap up. NBA bit all week this week except for Wednesday. Wednesday is the only day we don't do it. So we'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m., Thursday at 9 a.m., and Friday at 9 a.m. Also, guess what? We get that live show. I don't know if you saw that announcement, but we officially have a date for the live show for the 89 Cavs. I'm very excited for this. It is going to be Saturday, May 11th at a brand new venue called the Greats of Craft. It's in Long Island City. We're going to be on a rooftop, baby. On a rooftop. We're going to go, and tickets are free. So just come down. We're going to get started around 6 o'clock. We'll do probably an hour or so of a live show. We'll have some fun guests. We're going to give away some stuff. I think we're going to have a presenting sponsor that we'll announce soon. And then we're just going to hang out after, get drinks, and watch some NBA playoffs from the rooftop, baby. So we're very excited about this. If you are in the New York area, even New Jersey, come hang out. We're going to have a lot of fun. It'll be me, Steve, and Justin, and then a couple of our fun friends. Also, low-key, it's also going to be Steve's birthday. So we're going to be celebrating our boy's birthday as well. So come through for that. Really excited to do a live show. It's been a while. Actually, it's been since Vegas, since the 89 Cavs have gotten together for a live show. So I'm looking for it. All right, here we go. I like that you guys came in hot. Cam Thomas, we got a bogey 20 plus, Tatum double. Love to see it. But yeah, come through for that. There you go, Matic Auto. There you go. And then last but not least, So Rare Stuff's back today. So is some Fast Break stuff. So make sure you subscribe to all the channels. Also, go follow me on Instagram if you're not doing that either, because I know, not because I want you to like my dog photos or anything, but we started doing the reels on Instagram, and they've been popping off a little bit, which has been kind of fun. So you don't even have to follow. Just go engage with the shit. You know what I'm saying? Go engage with the shit. Just another Monday night show. There you go, regulator. All right, gang. We're going to wrap up here. We'll see you guys a little bit later today. As always, appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging out. And remember, don't go make shitty April Fool's jokes. You're better than that. We are better than that.